Hello and welcome to Sunday Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nest center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. I hope you're hopefully having a very good weekend. Well, a new week is about to start, and that will come with a possible announcement of a governorship candidate for the All Progressives Congress in Ondo State. The exercise that started yesterday, April the 20th, has been allegedly marred by irregularities, given the claims by some of the aspirants. In fact, due to some delay in material and personnel, the election in 13 wards of Okitipupa local government area was scheduled for today, Sunday, to start about noon. Now, at this moment, collation is on in Akure to know who will emerge as the party's flag bearer. But prior to this moment, protests broke out, especially among the supporters of one of the aspirants, calling for the cancellation and even the removal of the committee chairman, who is the governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo. So there's been a lot that's been happening in Ondo State since yesterday. The APC has been busy trying to ensure they get a candidate ahead of their November election. Maybe we'll take a look at some of the protests that broke out in just a moment. So those are some of the pictures we're seeing from Ondo State as far as this election is concerned. And that is going to be one of the major things we're going to be talking about today on the program. But let me give you a bit of what we call a fact sheet, a background to how this is playing out in terms of what is happening and in terms of some data. If my producer can give me those numbers now. The number of aspirants for this particular primary election who are vying for this particular seats, 16 of them, 2 of them are women and 14 male. Is a direct mode of primary election, 18 local government areas. We understand that 203 wards are, the election is conducted there, and that's the number of the registered members of the APC in the state, over 170,000. So that is the basic fact sheet of the election itself today. So, but out of the 16 gentlemen and ladies, one person will emerge winner. Who will it be? We're waiting for that announcement because they're already in Akure right now to announce who is the eventual winner of the primary election amid the allegations of irregularities marring the entire exercise. But if we go to my next slide, just to bring you up to speed as to how Ondo is progressing from 1999 up to now. These are the gentlemen that have led the state. Some have passed on. Adebaya Adefarati, 1999 to 2003 of the AD, 2003 to 2009, Olusegun Agago in the PDP, and then Olusegun Mimiko, 2009 to 2017, he was in LP as well as PDP, and the late Rotimi Akeredolu, 2017 to 2023. And as we speak, the incumbent is Lucky Ayedatiwa, who will be there until February. He's seeking election or re-election, if you will, because he's the incumbent. He's completing the tenure of Rotimi Akeredolu, who he was his deputy. But when Rotimi Akeredolu died last December, he was sworn in as the governor. So he's the incumbent governor of Ondo State, who is seeking for a full term come November this year. But he has his job up until February, at least we know that. And that is one of the conversations we're going to be having today. So since 1999, those are the faces and the names of the gentlemen. Some of them are passed on, some still alive, as far as the Ondo State governorship seat is concerned. But let's come back to today's conversation, which has to do with the primary that started just yesterday and dovetailed into today due to arrival of material and personnel in certain areas, especially Okitipupa local government areas, 13 wards. We understand over 9,000 members have been registered or are registered in that particular location. So let me bring in my guests as we start this conversation. Mr. Biola Makinde is a member of the House of Representatives representing Ondo East and Ondo West Federal Constituency. Mr. Makinde, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
We also have joining us the DG Olushola campaign organization, Mr. Rotimi Ogunleye. Mr. Ogunleye, thank you so much for coming on the program. All right, as soon as Mr. Ogunleye, we get that connection with him, we will get straight to that conversation with him. But let me come back to you, Mr. Makinde. I guess the best way and the best place to start, as all eyes are on our career to find out who eventually will be the flag bearer, standard bearer of your party. What will be your assessment of the exercise, given what we're seeing in terms of pictures and the protests and all of that?
Once again, thank you for having me. So far, in Ondo State, the APC primary election that was held yesterday was free and fair. There was no violence in almost 95% of, in fact, it's just 100% of the places of the local government, the 18 local government, everything went very well. And people were free enough to exercise their right. They came out. Of course, this is a direct primary, which is different from the indirect that people are used to. And so this time around, we had a massive turnout of voters coming in to vote for the right choice of the aspirant. So the whole exercise was good. The police, the law enforcement officers were around. The INEC observed and monitor the exercise throughout. And this is an election where all the card-carrying members of APC were called to actually choose their candidates. And the whole thing went very well. I was there myself. I voted in Ondo West, Ward 7, and the turnout was massive, and it was good.
Yeah. You said everything went well, but I don't think everybody agrees with you, especially the supporters of Olushola. In fact, other supporters, I did listen to some of the agents of the aspirants. I'm talking about Wale Akinteriwa as well as Olushola. And they are saying that elections did not take place. Those were their claims. And as you can see, that protest has erupted, and they are making certain demands. In fact, you know that some elections were shifted to today in Okitipupa. So I want to understand what you mean by everything was perfect.
I voted myself in Ondo West, Ward 7, and I represent Ondo East and West Federal Constituency. People turn out. I don't know about what other aspirants are saying, but there's no record of violence in my local government and all the local government in the environment. So I don't know the angle at which they are looking at it. This is a direct primary. People came out, and there's no record of any violence from the law enforcement officers. The INEC doesn't even have any record of such. So the voters came out, and of course, they voted for their choice of aspirant. And so once we don't have such a record from the law enforcement, and we don't have any such records from INEC as well, and even us who are voters, I don't know where they're coming out from with that position that there was no.
Okay, the reason I'm asking that question is I don't think they were talking about violence, to the best of my knowledge and from what I've heard. There were concerns about following guidelines. We heard that a day before the exercise, the secretary of the election committee, that's former DSP, that's the Deputy Senate President, Ovio Malguga, had announced that they should come out at a particular location to get their materials or supervise the material so that there's a level of transparency. And some are saying they were waiting there. They were already hearing that the exercise was taking place in other places. And those are the things I want you to speak to. Where were the guidelines, and where are they saying that some of the guidelines were not followed through? Oh, dear. All right. Mr. Makinde, apparently I don't know what the network is in your area, but we are not getting the level of clarity that we want to get. So I can't really pick your words. Maybe we'll try to reestablish connection. But if you can hear me, when we come back, or when you're able to reconnect with us, we'd like you to answer that question, because we're receiving all kinds of calls in terms of, when I say receiving calls, we're seeing visuals of these protests across board demanding for either cancellation or removal of the chairman. I wanted you to speak to that, but some of the people were complaining the fact that they are being shortchanged in some quarters. Others are saying electoral materials did not come in their places, or it came late. Others are saying that there was no election at all. We know this is election and there's a lot of politics that goes on, so we needed you to speak to it. Mr. Makinde, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back now, yeah.
All right, maybe you can respond. I just need to catch up so that just to convolute. So a basic guideline, what were the guidelines? Why are they complaining? Why were the materials not available as at when due? Because when you are assessing an election, it's not just the outcome, the process is important.
For me, I mean, like I said, the West local government, materials came on time. Almost and all the report that I've gotten, materials came on time. And of course, the party also released a statement concerning Okitipupa. So that's why they have to do it today. As far as the 17 other local governments, I think the materials came on time and they were able to exercise their right, and party members were able to vote. The party already released a statement showing that, yes, the
If you can unmute, go ahead, please.
So not to the whole local government. The party released a statement showing that only Okitipupa, their materials came in late. But as far as 17 other local government,
All right. Mr. Makinde, maybe you can just land on your thought. Maybe just avoid touching the device so that we can get the full value for this conversation. You can go ahead.
Right. So, I mean, to repeat what I just said, the party released a statement that only Okitipupa, the materials didn't get there on time. But as far as the other 17 local government, on which I was, I voted in one of the local government, there was enough material to go around all the voters. So I don't know where other, aspirants, whatever it is that they are saying. But as far as we are concerned, 17 local governments, there was election. Materials came in late for Okitipupa, and that was why they repeated it. The election took place today. So I don't know their response as far as that is concerned.
All right, let's bring in my second guest, Mr. Rotimi Ogunleye. He's the DG Olushola campaign organization. Mr. Ogunleye, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you. It's glad to be here.
Absolutely. So at the moment, we're all eyes are on Akure to find out who will eventually emerge the party's flag bearer. But I did ask Mr. Makinde a few questions, which I want to pose to you. And I would like to start from, would you say that whatever happens in the next few moments when Usman Ododo, the governor of Kogi State, who is the chairman of the committee, will make that announcement, it will truly represent the will of the people of APC in Ondo State as to who flags the party's flag?
Absolutely. What happened yesterday in Ondo State was never an election. It was a sham. I listened to Honorable Makinde. It was an obvious gap. The gap is this. He claimed that Okitipupa local government materials arrived late there. Okitipupa is a local government that you have to travel from that place for about 30, 40 minutes before you get to Ibokoda, before you get to maybe Ondo. So if he's claiming that elections were held in Ilaje and Ondo, where you first of all need to get to Okitiba, you get to those places. Why is it that voting materials are not in Okitiba? That could not have been a valid claim. It's just like telling somebody that you are going to Ondo town from Akure, and you say you don't have materials to do election in Akure, but you get election materials in Ondo, whereas you pass through Akure before you get to Ondo. So that's not even the issue. The issue is this. That election from the beginning was planned not to succeed. From the hurriedly put together stakeholders meeting that was held on Friday, the notice was sent in late. I was there live. The secretary of the election committee, Senator Omagege, stood up and then apologized for sending that notice very late. At that meeting, all the names of electoral officers were read to us for the very first time, about 8 hours to the election. Number two, the voters' membership list that should have been availed aspirants to see were informed that it was given to the election committee the day they were coming to Ondo State. So there's no way they could have made them available to us. So at that stakeholders meeting, they told us that the following morning, all the electoral officers and the agent of the aspirants should come to the secretariat, Bon Hotel, where they are going to administer the election, the process, to go and get voting materials that will be distributed to the election officers. And they are going to proceed from there to their respective local government. So they mandated us to come there by 7 a.m. As law-abiding party members, we were there by 7 a.m. Lo and behold, it was something after 9 that we now ask questions that, look, if by 9 o'clock we are not distributing election materials, and these election materials are going to the 18 local government area of Ondo State, a distance, there are some local government that you have to travel for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours before you get there. And after 9, you have not distributed these materials. What is happening? It was after we started asking questions, I was there live, that the chairman of the election committee, His Excellency Governor Dudu, now, emerged from the hotel. He came in from about 9 a.m. He was not in Akure on Friday. He came in Saturday morning. So he now came out. He attended to us. He said, though you were asked to come here at 7 a.m. with your party agent, but some election materials had been sent out early in the morning. We now asked questions and said, how? Where? How could election material have been sent out? Hello?
Well, we're hearing you. If you can land on your thoughts, so
okay.
I can continue.
Oh, okay. We now ask question that, how could you say election material have been sent out from here by 7 a.m.? We have been here, we have been around, all our party agents are here, electoral officers, none of them were on ground. So who took these election materials out of this place? Where and when? Could you have WhatsApp them or send them via a kind of network that we don't know to them? So apparently that morning, no election materials were sent out. That was the first step that made the whole election, went wrong. The second one was that in all the election centers, at least here in Akure, thugs, invaded all the election centers, and the election could not hold. Apart from the fact that we complained at that stakeholders meeting that all these election officers were people that are agents of the one of the aspirants, of course, which is the governor. They were, co-opted as election officers who will conduct election where the governor will even participate. So we pointed this out. Professor Fadu, one of the aspirants, pointed it out to Senator Movi Agege that these electoral officers were known persons supporting a particular aspirant, and they disregard that. So what you now witnessed yesterday was nothing but an arranged, process that was skewed to fail from the beginning.
Mr. Ogunleye,
thugs infected almost all the polling booth units.
Mr.
And they didn't allow us to vote.
Mr. Ogunleye, if I'm about to, let me get back to Mr. Makinde. Mr. Makinde, he said a lot of things as an agent of one of the aspirants. what's your response before I ask my next question?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, all right, good. See, I disagree with what he said. At different times, a lot of these materials were picked up from the location where they're supposed to pick it up. Okitipupa did not arrive early enough to pick those materials at that location where they're supposed to pick it up. Some came as early as 6 o'clock to pick their materials to the local government. Okitipupa local government came in late to pick their materials. So why is it that it's only Okitipupa? It's because the gentleman is not complaining about Odigo. He's not complaining about Ondo West. Ondo is because they got there earlier before Okitipupa. Okitipupa came in late to pick up their materials, and that's why the materials got there late. See, the election took place. You can see the video. There was no violence in some of your media guys were on ground, and they saw everything that was going on.
Mr. Makinde, one question. Mr. Makinde, if you can hear me, just a moment. Just a moment. If you can hear me, he's an agent that was present at the bond office or bond secretariat where materials were to be picked up. I don't know whether he said only Okitipupa. It appears he was saying materials for the election. So he has to maybe tell us exactly whether it's just Okitipupa or not. Second is the fact that he was present. Where were you? Were you present or you just went out to vote? What exactly, from what position are you speaking? As a voter or as an agent, so that we know where to posit the claims?
See, as a member House of Rep, I'm the party chieftain. And of course, I have a general idea of the election as far as Ondo State is concerned. I'm a member of Rep, a two-term member House of Rep. So I have, a stake in this election as far as Ondo State is concerned. At the same time, I'm a voter, and I was there on ground to vote. The election materials were picked at different times. And for Okitipupa, the election materials were not picked on time. And as a result of that, look, this direct primary may be new to all these aspirants. But the fact that they need to understand is this involves all card-carrying members of APC, of which they need to have campaigned and go campaign with them. I can tell you for a fact, I'm a two-term House of Rep member, a stakeholder in Ondo State. Out of the 16 aspirants, only Ayedatiwa and I think Biola that came to me one-on-one to speak about their ambition. None of them did not deem it fit to go as far as meeting those voters who are card-carrying members, coming on the media to complain. It's to me, the materials.
Come back, Mr. Makinde, if I'm a button, my apology, if I'm a button. The issue, we're not talking about pre-election campaigns and all of that. We're trying to examine the process. And my question was straight. Did you come out as a voter that day, or you were an agent, so that I know how much of a panoramic view you have?
As a voter, yes, I came out as a voter on that day. And of course, like I said, I'm a party chieftain in Ondo State. So general information, like I'm a member of Rep, I represent the two local governments, Ondo East, Ondo West. But on that day, I was a voter. All right. And I voted in Ondo West Ward 7.
Let me go to Mr. Ogunleye. Mr. Ogunleye, let me come back to you. I know you had raised concern of irregularity. I think I even saw a video of the agent of Wale Akinterewa also raising that concern. Both of you granted that presser that day. So they say in election, different things happen in places. This irregularity that you're claiming, how widespread was it? And in what specific areas? Besides, I think the most popular is the Okitipupa issue.
Thank you very much. You see, one thing about we politicians is the fact that we forget the fact that the citizens and the people listening to us, they are equally active participants in all the issues we are discussing. Honorable Makinde should show us where he voted when he was accredited and the electoral officer that accredited him and the voter register they used. The truth is this. Not all card carrying members that their names are in the voter register were validated. And there is no way you can bring in unvalidated membership register to administer an election that the guideline says that those who are going to vote are going to be validated members, so their membership will be validated. What these people did simply was that they went about this election, so to say, wrote results from most of these election centers without electoral process taking place. I've just challenged him now that he should show us. He claimed to be a stakeholder, senior person in the party. Well, that's a claim.
All right, Mr. Ogunleye, Mr. Ogunleye, my apologies. My question is, how widespread is this claim of irregularity?
It's everywhere in Ondo State. Your reporters are on the field. It happens in Ondo North. It happens in Ondo Central. In my ward, it's all also the Ward 10, where my wife is a member, validated with. She has a validated membership card. 3 of our unit coordinators and 2 other members of our campaign had their membership card validated. Mine was not validated. 6, in that particular unit, they infected the place with thugs, with gunshots. They scattered everywhere, sent them packing. And in the evening, where election was not held, they wrote result that we scored 0. That the election took place there, where nobody was, where they nearly killed every other party members that came to cast their vote to participate in what should have been a party affair. In my ward, it's all also the Ward 10. They scored every other as 0, and they awarded mark to themselves, where election never held. So go to Akoko, it happened there. Go to this Ogidigba they were talking about, they never had the opportunity of writing results because some of the electoral officers, they are electoral officers that have questions. How did he know that they picked the voting materials late? I was at Bon Hotel, the secretariat where the raw materials were, the electoral material was to be distributed. All the electoral officers were just in the room there, sleeping, relaxing. They didn't leave the hotel. They just went around, constructed results, and they claimed that the election was dead. It was brigandage everywhere. They invaded all polling centers across the 18 local government.
All right.
Look at what happened in Lajet. Go to Ondo. The Ondo West and Ondo East was talking about. We have video evidence of thugs invading voting centers. It is not decent enough for us to just be manipulating the society, manipulating electorates. It's not indecent.
Let Mr. Ogunleye, just a minute. Let me get to Mr.
Like I said, sir, ask him. He should show us the process of accreditation. He claimed to have voted, right? Distribution of materials, accreditation of his person before he voted. He should show us. There was no election anywhere. That is the truth. The people of Ondo State are currently listening to us.
All right. All right, just 1 minute for both of you. Gentlemen, let me come to Mr. Makinde, your last thought on this one. Are you worried that whatever is being said by the Olushola team and the rest who are protesting now may affect the entire outlook of this, whatever has been announced, and may eventually affect the outcome of elections for the APC? Just 30 seconds. Mr. Makinde. You can unmute yourself, Mr. Makinde, so we can hear you. If you can hear me, can you unmute your device, Mr. Makinde?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You have 30 seconds,
okay,
sir.
Good. For him to come online on media or on the TV to say things that did not happen, that is wrong. Let us be honest at every point in time. There was accreditation. They were counted. There were votes casted. Each aspirant got their vote. These are online everywhere. The videos are there. He said something about thuggery. There was no thuggery anywhere. If you say there are thuggery, where is the law enforcement report? Because police officers were there. Law enforcement officers were everywhere. The civil defense, the police. You can't come on TV and keep lying to the people. We voted, we were accredited, our cards were validated. And the vote, if you lose honorably. Don't come in and start saying that this did not happen.
Okay, just land on your thought. 30 seconds, so that I can get his last thought and we'll wrap up.
He's a DG of an aspirant. So, of course, what do you expect him to say? But the video, the evidences are out there that the election took place. People were counted.
All right.
Cards were validated.
All right, let me come to you, Mr. Ogunleye. Just a quick one.
Thank you very much.
What next? 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
This was Makinde. When election is to be held, materials for that election will be distributed in the glare of party agents, electoral officers, and the media. Let any media house in Nigeria show us this process where election materials were distributed and where electoral officers and party agents, aspirants agents were there. That's number one. Number two, it should show us where he voted, how the voting process was, administered. Was he accredited? Where is the voter registered that was used to accredit him? It should show us that. Then number three, it should show us evidence of where results were declared in his unit, where he voted. We have I just told you now that in my ward, Ward 3 is Solo, Ward 10 is Solo Shodi. In a Western local government, all party members present to vote were dispersed.
All right, Mr. Ogunleye. I want to thank both of you so much. Totally out of time. My sincere apologies. Rotimi Ogunleye is the DG Olushala campaign organization. Mr. Biola Makinde is a member of the House of Representatives from Ondo State. Gentlemen, thank you so much.